Over the last several years, Hasbro has been great at rolling out Transformer after Transformer after Transformer to the point where we've had so many updates and modern reimaginings and new versions of characters, but there's still some ones I want that they haven't touched yet. So here are 10 Transformers I want Hasbro to make.
It's morphin' time!
Hello, this is Soundout here, and on today's video, we're going to be talking about Transformers I want Hasbro to make. And this is specifically for, like, your collector's line, your generations, whether it be, Age of the Primes or Studio Series. These are going to be whatever line they fit into. Does not bother me, because I kind of consider those two lines to be the same line anyways. But this is going to be kind of like just a list of Transformers I want. And I may have cheated with the 10. There's 10 slots. You may see that some of these slots have multiple figures, but I'm not really going to be worried about what scale they come in unless I specifically mention it. If you haven't seen my video on Transformer size classes, it's a little bit of a messy thing to talk about scale and size class because scale and size class are not the same thing. That I'm not worried about. This is going to be more like, I want to see this character redone in the modern style of Transformers. So I think this would be kind of fun, kind of like a nice little video, and if you enjoy this type of thing, hit the like button and subscribe to the notification bell. The like button lets me know you enjoy this type of video, and I'll make more of it. Plus, of course, leave your own list in the comments section down below. It's going to be kind of fun to go through this. And I also apologize that things get super duper obscure in like the middle of it, because I have weird niche tastes when it comes to Transformers, but I got some interesting picks, so let's begin. Number 10. Galaxy Convoy plus Wing Saber plus Leo Breaker. I am not the only one that has said this, but the Siege version of Galaxy Convoy, or Optimus Prime from Transformers Cybertron, was not satisfactory. He was a retool of Ultra Magnus, and he was fine, but for me, if I'm going to upgrade the original toy, which is already one of the best toys ever made in the Transformers brand, this is going to need a full redo, and especially one that has combining components. We have been seeing lately, they've been kind of going more into the combination stuff, more Unicron trilogy. So let's get a new Galaxy Convoy, let's get a new Cybertron Optimus Prime, and get his two combiner partners with him. I know that technically means we've got 3. There's still 9 more entries on the list. I didn't just go, well, that's 10 through 8. No, that's 10. Because honestly, at this point, we could end up seeing a situation like with Omega Prime or Victory Saber where they're all bundled together in some HasLab thing. Whatever it is, I want to see this design, and specifically with his 2 combiner components, released at some point in the future in a modern style. Not just for me, who wants like a kind of newer, fresher, better one, but also for those that never could get the original toy. Because like I said, that Siege version just didn't work. It didn't work. It doesn't have the same charm and the same style. So let's get something better. That's why it's number 10. Number 9, let's pivot from something that I think a lot of people want to something I probably am the only one asking for. Botanica from Beast Machines. Now the reason why Botanica is because the Beast Machines series is incredibly controversial for many reasons, and it has its own problems. But one of the ideas they introduced was a Transformer who was a plant, like she turned into a plant and had a robot form. Now, the thing was that the Beast Machines toy line was always kind of working like in a different track than the TV show was, and that's why the designs were all different for the first year. So the thing is, Botanica, despite being a main character, did not get a toy. So because of that, even though I have all the old Beast Machines toys, and I'm not sitting here going, we need updates to everybody from Beast Machines, because I understand how sales data works. But, you know, outside of the fact that it would be really nice to get a bunch of like cartoon accurate Beast Machines stuff, but I digress. Botanica would be something nice to get in some form because she's not had a toy, and I think, and I could be wrong on this, I think she's the only main character from a Transformers show to not have any toys, which is kind of a bummer, and I think it's just kind of an interesting thing. Plus, if we can get Quintessons with made-up jail modes, why not Botanica? I mean, she turns from something that looks the same in 2 modes, but they did that with Optimus Minor back in the 90s, so I don't see a problem with it now. Now, number 8 is a character who has gotten a toy before, but deserves a better one. Rack and Ruin. Should I say 1 character or 2? Does this count as 2? Rack and Ruin is so cool. It's one of those crazy Marvel UK concept characters that was in the storyline that was made without a toy idea in mind. Later on, Rack and Ruin showed up in Cyberverse, and that's where the Cyberverse toy came out for Rack and Ruin. It'd be really cool to see a comic Rack and Ruin, or even an update to the Cyberverse one that's a little less gimmick heavy and more like engineered, because I think the idea of these two is just so fascinating, like these conjoined Transformers, and I just want to see something interesting like that again. Now, while the one thing I would put as the caveat is I'm kind of worried that if they do rack and ruin, it'd be like a weaponizer where like their limbs pop apart and they become weapons and you have to buy two of them and then combine them together, which, while I personally don't like weaponizers as figures, I wouldn't mind that if that's the way we get a rack and ruin. I just think a rack and ruin that's comic based would be great, and if it's Cyberverse based, I'll take that as well. Just something, you know, on the collector end of Transformers for one of the most unique and interesting Transformers character designs in the entire franchise. Number 7, the Constructicons from Animated. Yes, I know there's 3 of them. I couldn't pick one over another. I really like them, you know, especially the duo plus Dirt Boss being the third. We never got toys of the Constructicons during Animated's toy line. And so while I like that we update characters, you know, Animated has gotten Prowl, Bumblebee, and Optimus in Legacy, I would like to see some of the things kind of filled in that we didn't get before, because those were 3 characters we were missing from the original Animated toy line. Plus, because they're Constructicons and they're kind of G1 coded, I think they'd sell. This is not going to be something we would see for a while because they're about to do a Studio Series Devastator, so it's like, why would you have another set of Constructicons coming out? And they just did the movie Devastator just prior, so I kind of get why there's really not been a space to fit these guys in. But hopefully after Studio Series Devastator, we can get the 3 Constructicons we never got. If you're making me pick one, I can't. They're perfect together. If they need to be a 3-pack, which would be weird because they'd need to be all new molds, that's another thing too, but these 3 characters would kind of fill out and help complete the Animated display, because there's other characters in Animated we didn't get toys of. That female Red Alert is really cool. I think she's awesome. I would totally buy a toy of her. Those were a lot more cameo-based. The Constructicons had episodes to themselves, and so I feel like they're kind of the gap that we need to fill from Animated. And then we can also continue remaking everybody. That's fine too. I just would love to see these guys added to the line because, well, we never really had official toys of them before. Number 6, Slugfest and Overkill, and by that extension, every cassette we don't have. I'm nuts for the cassette bots because I've not gotten a complete set. I have an incomplete G1 set. I have an incomplete Masterpiece set because I didn't make them all. And I've been trying to get a complete set of cassettes in some toy line. I even bought this entire Leader Class Soundwave package just for the buzzsaw in here, because that was the only thing that was new. I already had a Ravage, I already have a Blue Guy, and I already have the Netflix Soundwave from Walmart. So I really only needed the buzzsaw, but I bought the whole package just for him. You know, I like Soundwave, if you couldn't have guessed from the front half of my name. But the reason I'm singling out Slugfest and Overkill is because a lot of the cassette tapes I think should get sold in 2-packs. This is technically one entry on the list. It's one toy if they did release it. And also because that would kind of round out Soundwave's cassettes, at least in the modern style. I know we need some re-releases for people that didn't get the previous ones, but I'd like to finish the set in some way, because incomplete cassette tape sets is kind of where we're at. I didn't put Ramhorn on this list because there's a listing for him to come out for Blaster, so I was like, okay, I guess we're good. But yeah, Slugfest and Overkill would be nice. The other ones that were in toys and I think appeared in Headmasters, I can't remember, the other cassettes would be nice as well, but Slugfest and Overkill are like the top of my list for cassettes. I just would like to see all the cassette bots finished. They're tiny, they're small. Like, I don't get why every time they start it up, it takes years to go through it and then we don't get finished. It's very frustrating. It seems like they're sticking to the current format, so let's just keep going, finish the set before starting a new one. Number 5, Anirachnid. Not Prime Anirachnid, Transformers 1 Anirachnid. I loved the redesign of Anirachnid for Transformers 1, and this is such a cool design that needs a proper modern toy. I guess Studio Series would probably be the line, but it'd just be really cool to see. Yes, Prime Anirachnid from Prime also needs an update, but at least that toy exists. The only Transformers 1 Anirachnid we have is the one-step changer, and I refuse to acknowledge that as a proper Transformer. Those are fun gimmick toys, but they're not like replacements for full-on figures. I'd love to see a full-on figure of Transformers 1 Anirachnid. And because of this, I'd also like to see her maybe at the Voyager size. She was a little bit larger in the movie. I'm not going into spoilers here, but she's big enough, I think a Voyager would be a cool addition. It's a character I like, it's a character design I like, and I'd love to see more toys of it. And hopefully when they do make a Transformers 1 Anirachnid, she turns out good, unlike Prime Anirachnid, who could also use it. So I guess that's just the the B setting of this entry is Prime Arachnid. But again, I'd like to get Transformers 1 Arachnid first, honestly, because, hey, the movie just came out. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's do them more than just the main cast. That's me saying this as if I have any input or say, but I just kind of would hope that would happen. Number 4, Transformers Prime Hard Shell. This was kind of like your leader of the Insecticons. We only got a hard shell in the Cyberverse line, which was essentially what's core class nowadays, where it's like the smaller figures. And we didn't get a proper scaled hard shell to go with the other Transformers Prime figures. Voyager would be fine, but a leader class would be better. Just something big, beefy. I don't know how you reuse the mold, but I guess you can kind of pull a Scourge in the Sweeps thing where you just repaint it slightly, and it's like, that's the Army Builder one. I just would really love to see this design done properly, in the right size, so I could put it with the Prime collection, and once again, kind of feel like I filled that out, because I have, between the Japanese and the Hasbro lines for Prime, I feel like I got everybody, except Hard Shell. It's kind of like the one little thing I'm like, oh, I wish we had like a big old bug to add to the display. And so that's why it's on the list. I'm starting to realize how many of these picks are like, oh, I hope they make this in the modern line because it didn't exist in the original toy line. Which, you know, it's a good thing I don't have a list of 50 figures. Otherwise, I'd be doing a ton of people from RID 2015 and Cyberverse. But Hard Shell, I really want to see Hard Shell because he's such a cool design. I think he'd totally sell even at the higher price if he's at the proper scale. Top 3 is going to be crazy. Buckle up. Number 3, Lio Kaiser. Yeah, I decided to go with Lio Kaiser as my Victory pick. I love Transformers Victory. I want them to make everybody from Victory. That's really hard because most of the robots in Victory are combiners. I think, is Galaxy Shuttle and the Micromasters the only ones that aren't combiners? Anyways, in some way, because Death Saurus has this whole chest thing. Point is, we need another Decepticon for Victory. Why not Lio Kaiser? Yes, that's a huge combiner character. Yes, we did get one during Combiner Wars, which I don't count because it's not done right. That's not the way Lio Kaiser works. Like, no, get that out of here. Let's go with traditional Lio Kaiser. With the way that they've been treating us so well with Death Saurus, with Victory Saber, with all these others, I'm like, I want a better Lio Kaiser. I want something that represents that combiner together, and it would just be super cool to see for a very unique and cool, unique, awesome design. And unique is a word I keep using a lot, but that's kind of what I like to see in Transformers. Things get kind of samey when everybody turns into a car, so let's mix it up. Let's throw in some exciting ones, and I love to see stuff like that. Now, whether or not they would do Lio Kaiser as individual components sold separately through like different waves or as a HasLab, that's not up to me. It's up to the people that make budgets and sheets and make money from it. That's their business. I just want a Lio Kaiser that looks like Lio Kaiser. All right, my number 2 pick is a massive cheat. I'm cheating on every rule about top 10 lists since the beginning of time. I want Depth Charge and Rampage. That's 2 separate figures. And I'm also going to throw in Quick Strike. And the reason why is because those 3 are the last 3 characters of Beast Wars we don't have. While we still need Transmetal forms for several of the characters, those 3 characters are the last of the characters we need for Beast Wars. Particularly speaking, Quick Strike is cool. I like him. He's fine. But my focus here is really Depth Charge and Rampage. This may be because as a kid I had the Depth Charge and Rampage like toys. It may be because as an adult I watched the show and love how these 2 characters hate each other for any reason whatsoever. If they see each other and they're not beating the crap out of each other, it's going to happen within the next few minutes. I love Depth Charge and Rampage. Such cool designs. And please, Hasbro, just skip the chrome. Transmetal 2 Megatron didn't have any chrome. We're good. No chrome on Transmetals. It wrecked the original toys. Let's not worry about that here. I know this is cheating putting 3 slots on here. If I had to pick one, it's Depth Charge. He's like my favorite Beast Wars character. But I want all 3. I couldn't really choose one over the other, even though I just chose Depth Charge over the others. But the point is, it's time to finish up Beast Wars because we're so close to at least having the main cast. If we get the Transmetals beyond that, that's awesome. But I'd love to see at least the original characters done first. And my number 1 pick, G1 Thunderwing. So this is the thing. We have an original Thunderwing toy. There's the deluxe class figure, which was repainted into Black Shadow from Master Force. That was fine with that deluxe, but we have a higher scale, and I want a better Thunderwing. He does not need to be a double pretender the way that the original toy was. He can just be the way they did the deluxe. He can also be done the way that Black Shadow was done as a leader class figure. And I gotta tell you, one of my biggest disappointments was the fact that we got Black Shadow, and I thought, oh, we're getting him first, and then we'll get Thunderwing, because they share a mold in G1 and in the deluxe figure, and I was like, okay, cool. But then this guy was a retool of Overlord, so that meant that he already had his 2 uses, so we didn't get a Thunderwing off of this, and I would have liked that. But now that we're in the magical times that we are with the way Transformers are done, I really want a Thunderwing, and I want it done properly, and I'd love to have some of the Marvel Comics influence, because I think that while Thunderwing as a toy is cool, while Black Shadow is cool, Thunderwing's grand appearance is in the Marvel comic, and I would love to see something along those lines, because I thought he had such a cool design, he makes such a great impact on the story. I really love this character, and I want to get like a really nice toy of him, and it just sucks that we haven't had a Thunderwing since Generations 1.0. And that was a long time ago, especially considering Thunderwing is the character that came over to the US, whereas that mold was Black Shadow, Black Shadow in Japan. So it's kind of weird we didn't get the US version in the updates, but we got the Japanese version. Yeah, the Japanese version has media support in the form of an anime, but the American version has Thunderwing as the central part of a major storyline in the comic book. I would love to see a new Thunderwing. Commander class would probably be the best way to do it. It, again, doesn't have to be a double pretender, but I just want to have something really cool, really awesome, so we can fight all my Autobots and be looking for the Matrix all the time. And it's what I want to see from Transformers more than anything else. And that's why it's at the top of the list. So that was my list. I certainly don't speak for the fandom, and there's definitely other picks that are more popular, but this was my list of the 10 that I'm thinking about right now that I really want to see. There may be another list in the future, because I probably forgot something and I'll be watching a Transformers show or reading a comic and going, you know what, I also need a toy of that. Transformers is wide-reaching, and it's crazy when there's characters that haven't ever been made, and then there's other characters that just need updates to finish out sets or work on teams. This was me limiting myself to 10. It was actually like 16. 10 entries, they go together, things like that. So I really love the way that Transformers is no longer just, here's G1 updates. Like, it's wide-reaching now. They can pull from any series, and that's made it so much more interesting. And these are just picks that I want to see to make the line even more interesting and exciting. Let me know what your list is in the comments down below, if you haven't already. Tell me I'm crazy for wanting Botanica. I just think it's wild that character doesn't have at least a toy, even if it's like a static figure or something. Just a Botanica would be nice to see. But on that note, hit the like button, subscribe, and notification bell if you haven't already. Stay tuned for future videos on the channel, plenty more to come. Check out our Discord server in the link below if you haven't joined already. We have a great community down there. Plus, you can check out our live streams every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern for toy news coverage as well as other media coverage. Plus, you can check out channel memberships on this channel if you want to help support us directly. That will give you perks like early access to videos, member-exclusive live streams, and special shoutouts depending on what tier you're on. Plus, let's give some special shoutouts to those channel members. Special shout out to all of our channel members, including our Captain Tiers, Spin-54, Toma K, MasterBin95, Jamie's World, Forever1000, Clint Jorgensen, Common Jojo, Steven Hivanojosa, Mohammed Faiz Daniel, Dominator, Yash Gangniker, R2 Wingo, Doge9789, Alex Alexis, and Brendan Donnellan. Thank you all for your support. If you so wish, you can find me across most social media at Soundout12, though I am mostly active on Discord, where you can also get alerts to new videos, so there's double reason to join there. Plus, you can find my awesome graphic designer on social media and Discord at Darklaw643, and you can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for Transformers news, interviews, reviews, and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying, Predacons, terrorize!